Hey guys, welcome to watch Eric's Talk. If everything goes smoothly in June, Ethereum network will upgrade to Ethereum 2. And also the way they do mining will be different. They will switch from POW to POS. As you probably know, POW stands for Proof of Work, which consumes a lot of energy and relies on really expensive graphic card and special-made CPU to do the mining and run the nodes. In contrary, POS is definitely a better solution because it consumes way less energy and it does not rely on really expensive graphic card or CPU. Once Ethereum complete the upgrade, the TPS will be much higher and the cost for transaction will be much lower as well. So good luck for Solana and all the other so-called Ethereum killers. To be able to run an Ethereum node in Ethereum 2, you need to stake at least 32 ETH. Of course, you also need to run some server and operate the node. You need to hire, probably need to hire someone to do this. So it's more like for professionals, not individual investors. There's a huge demand for Ethereum staking service in the market, but obviously there will be third-party staking platforms that will provide solution, with a lower entry and simpler process. Today, I will be introducing 3 types of staking platforms. Before we start it, if you haven't subscribed to Eric's Talk, please subscribe to Eric's Talk and let's begin. Let's begin with the first one, centralized exchange staking service. So that one is pretty simple. Basically, for the users, you just give your ETH to the exchange and the exchange collect all the ETH and they will do the staking for you and share the profit. Pretty simple. But the downside is pretty clear. You have to trust the platform. The platform must be really reliable. Another downside is really painful as well. Once you stake your ETH, it's locked. You cannot do anything with it. The liquidity is locked. So this is a huge problem. That's why a third-party solution comes out. It's called LIDO Finance. What's really amazing about this platform is it works kind of like dark magic, and I'll try to explain in a simple way. So what LIDO DAO does, you can stake your ETH in the platform and you don't have to stake at least 32 ETH. You can start with like 0.01 ETH, which makes really friendly for regular investors. Once you stake your ETH on the platform, you need to connect your wallet. What's really interesting is they will mint a STETH, which is a staking token. Then what you can do, you can go to the third party, mostly they go to Curve and stake this STETH and to get extra rewards. This part is amazing because not only you can stake your ETH on the platform, it also gives a great flexibility and by offering another STETH. And anytime you need ETH back, you can just swap your STETH and they will give a stake ETH back. It's very flexible, but you cannot do this if you just run an Ethereum 2 node. In order to run a node, not only you need to stake 32 ETH, and also you need to make sure your node is always online. If the node goes offline, and you will receive a penalty, and you will pay a fine and from the ETH you staked, which can be really painful. So in summary, LIDO Finance not only provides a staking solution, makes the whole process much simpler. You don't need to run your own server, you don't need to do your own operating or maintenance. It also provides this amazing method to unlock the liquidity, and then you can use this STETH and do stake on Curve and get extra reward. So far, the solution LIDO Finance provides is almost perfect, but there still is a downside, especially for institutional investor, for anyone who has a lot of ETH, they have a reason to concern. What are the concerns? So this part will get a little bit technical. So basically the way you run a node on Ethereum 2, it's not the same you manage it, just regular ERC20 token. So there will be someone operating a node and also someone who signs signatures. You have a withdrawal key and also you have a signature key. In both centralized exchange and LIDO Finance, you pretty much handle all these keys management to the platform. The platform takes care of everything, but you're not actually in control in your asset, not your keys, not your coins. That's why we have the third solution, which is the last platform I'm going to talk about, is SSV.network. So SSV.network is more like a plugin, created by Ethereum Foundation. Why I'm saying this? It's not really a platform, for the user end. It's more like a platform for business end. it's like an upgrade to the current solution. So actually, LIDO Finance and SSV.network, they're not competitors, you know. So eventually, I think LIDO Finance or centralized exchange, they will also adapt SSV's solution. What SSV does, it just provides a better way to manage those keys, you know, to make you have better control over your asset. Okay, after all of this I just mentioned, you probably feel a little bit confused. So let me just do a summarization and help you to understand the whole picture. Okay, just hear me out. So once we upgrade to Ethereum 2, you cannot do mining with this graphic card anymore. You need to stake 32 ETH to run a Ethereum node. That's the only way to run a node. And of course, you get a reward, you know, from the transactions and block reward as well. The cons are very obvious. First, 32 ETH is a lot of money. It's not for everyone. Also, you need to rent some server, and also you have to maintain the node. The node cannot go offline. If it goes offline, you will receive a penalty. In the asset management part, so people who operate your node, they will have part of your key, and the validators, they also have the key. And so both centralized exchange and LIDO Finance, they manage your private keys. So that's gonna be a problem. That's why we have another solution on top of a centralized exchange staking and LIDO Finance staking, SSV.network. SSV.network provides a better private key management solution. So I use private key because it's much simpler for us to understand, because the way they actually operate is a little bit more complicated. I will not go through all the process or the calculation about the staking reward. If you want to know more about Ethereum 2 staking, I will make a more video about the details, like how to deploy the node, do some calculation about the reward. So if you liked this video, please give me a like and subscribe to Iris Talk and leave your comment. See you next time.